So how do politics between the U.S. and the Soviet, or the former Soviet Union, how does it affect what takes place in the space program with the U.S. relying on Russia to launch supplies and things like this?
Yeah,
and you guys are suspended in space, counting on everything going smoothly.
Yeah,
the
that's
Russians
right.
And Americans.
Yeah, it's amazing that it hasn't affected it very much, and that's a continuous risk. Since the shuttle retired, we're completely dependent on the Russians to launch all of Americans into space. In fact, everybody who's going to the space station from all the partner countries, 16 countries, all have to go through Russia right now, and that's been the case since 2011. Soon, hopefully, we're going to have our own launch vehicle again, and we'll be able to go. But everything that we're joined at the hip in space. I mean, everything from power and food and water and everything is connected between the both sides of the space station. So there's no escaping working together, and the teams on the ground are communicating every day, and there's teams in all the countries from all the other countries to have that, to make sure that communication works. So as much as there's a lot of issues right now, worldwide issues and things that Russia's doing that maybe are we have issues with. I'm always concerned about the breakdown in relations to get any worse, because we don't want that to affect the space program.
Are there treaties that govern? In other words, what happens on the space station has to be above or separate to the countries have to adhere to maintaining and treating equally?
They're international agreements. They're agreements. So, but I don't know if it falls into the category of a treaty. But they're agreements, and so those haven't been broken, at least until now. So, let's hope they don't.
Right. But is there the contingency plan for it if one side, if the Russians or the Americans stop cooperating with the other astronauts?
I mean, this is something we're kind of worried about all along. We wouldn't have. We have the upper hand in terms of power. The Russians are dependent on us for power right now.
Electricity. Yeah,
on the space station. Yeah, because they have some solar panels, but they're much smaller, and they're also folded up because of the geometry when everything's put together. So we have the upper hand on power, but they have actually control, attitude control. They have the ability to bring crew up and take crew down. So they could say tomorrow, well, we're not going to bring any of your crew members anymore. And we'll have to say, okay, we're not going to give you any power. I mean, that's the only way we could barter about that exchange. Anyway, so far so good. I think there's so much vested interest at the working level, and at the space agency level to make it work, that it's being insulated a little bit from the politics. Thank goodness. So, I mean, it was a. I mean, the space station was kind of like a pinnacle of international cooperation. It's really, maybe it's the thing that's holding us together. So.
When were you there?
I was there 2008 and I was there in 2008 for my long duration mission, and I was there again in 2011 for the last assembly flight. Yeah. So
relations were good.
They were good. They were good. Yeah. We were partners, and. Putin was around, but wasn't as much, discourse as there is now.
Are things? I know under President Obama, he was looking to scale NASA back. Are things better under this new administration for NASA?
Yeah, I don't know that he wasn't really trying to scale things back. I mean, the budget was relatively flat. I mean, what he was doing was trying to shift some of the funding to commercialization. To try to get the commercial sector to be able to support the transportation aspects of space travel, while NASA focused on the research and the distant exploration part, and that's working. Now we have SpaceX and a lot of other companies that are providing the space transportation and cargo delivery parts of it. So that's what we want to see. I mean, it's really not going to go. It's really not going to explode in space until many people can play a role, and it can be also commercially profitable to be there. So that's what everybody believed was the right path. It's just a question of when to do it. So.